my reason for not having the girl ducks anymore. We're out here by the goats because this is where another goodbye has happened. This is reality. You don't always get everything you want. Got off her nest, and so I ran out there to check. Hey y'all, Amy here. Welcome back to the farm. Today I'm out here by the pond and it's quiet. You hear how quiet it is? So I'm going to tell you why it's quiet, and then we're going to talk about multiple. This is just part of the goodbyes. There's also another one to talk about, and then at the end we're going to go check on Daphne the peacock and peahen, excuse me, and it's the last day of the possible. It's the last possible hatch day for the pea chicks. So far, nothing. I haven't actually been over to her nest yet this morning. We're gonna go look and see. But first of all, let's talk about the lack of noise and ducks on the pond. This is Donald. He's one of my drakes. Out there is Wilbur. He's another drake. And then there's the two geese. Oh, look at all water birds. So let's talk about where the girl ducks have gone. Or I guess why the girl ducks have gone. One of the things I try to do here is make sure that every animal has a purpose, has a reason. If this is a working homestead, and if I'm going to be feeding the animal, paying for the animal, they need to do something. They need to be here for a reason. There's only one animal here. Well, I guess there's a few. Pearl the pig is pointless. She was my first pig. She's here for no reason. Peacocks, again, pointless animals, but they're really beautiful. So Pearl the pig is fun. The peacocks are beautiful. The geese don't really have a purpose. A lot of people say the geese are like guard dogs, alarm system for their places or whatever. These guys are just not. When I first got them, they would fuss like when the Amazon truck would come or something, but now they're just chill. There's like a lot going on here all the time, so they're just used to it now. There's constantly vehicles up and down the road. Stuff is always happening, so they're fine with it. They're chill. So they don't really have a purpose either, except that they're really fun. But here's my reason for not having the girl ducks anymore. Okay, I don't have my stand. I hope it's not too wiggly. I'm out here trying to film real quick while I have my phone, and I forgot my stand. The ducks were gotten for duck eggs, and I was going to use them in baking and like sell them on my stand and things like that. And that was great. I did that for a long time. I actually had the ducks for 3 years, and they laid eggs the first couple of years. The first 2 years I got them, I would bake with them. My husband and my oldest Abby had stomach issues, and it wasn't till later that we figured out that baked goods with duck eggs in it is what caused them to have like stomach cramps and things. They had a sensitivity to duck eggs. When I stopped the duck eggs, then the stomach issues with that stopped. So I don't know, that's not everybody. That happens to some people. The rest of us were fine. It was just a thing. So I stopped using duck eggs altogether in my stuff, but I still put them on my stand. That was fine. Well, then we got more and more crows and more egg predators, and it was very difficult to get eggs. Very difficult because they'd lay around the pond. Stuff would get them all the time. If you've been here, you know I was struggling with crows getting them. I'd have to come out extra early in the morning. It would take a long time to gather up enough to put on the stand. It was just a pain. And there was eggshells everywhere. There was raw egg everywhere because like when the crows would get it, they just poke a hole in it. And they don't hardly even eat anything, and they just leave it. So it was aggravating. And then the girl ducks, when they wanted to go broody and set, they would hide their nests. There's that shed over there. We had to close underneath that shed because they had laid like 30 eggs under there and tried to set them, and none of them hatched, and they all rotted, and the smell was bad. Then they were trying to go out in that field, set eggs there. It was just a whole thing. Plus, extra ducks on the pond was causing an issue with the ecosystem of the pond. So all of those reasons put together are why I decided that I wasn't going to keep female ducks anymore. So they all got rehomed, and I now have 4 male waterfowl, and that is all. They are for fun. They're because I really like them. I like having ducks on the pond. I really like the geese. The geese are funny. So they're here. They're staying here. They're not going anywhere. At least that's the plan. They don't cause a problem. They don't eat much. They're fine. They're not super loud. All is good. So that is the reason why I no longer have the female ducks. Alrighty, we're about to go check on Daphne the peacock, but we're out here by the goats because this is where another goodbye has happened. If you recall, I had a Nubian dairy goat named Annabelle, and she was one of Abby's goats, and she is no longer here. She has been rehomed. So, just a real quick reason behind this. As you know, I had dairy goats, did the goat milk thing. My arm keeps shaking because this one keeps rubbing against me. You hear him purring? Stop, dude, I'm trying to hold the camera still. I am switching, as you know, from goat's milk to cow's milk. I now am the owner of a milk cow. She's not in milk, she has to be bred and have a baby, but I have a milk cow. So I am, Moses, dude, hold on. So I needed to transition out of dairy goats. Now, the most realistic thing to do on this homestead, the thing that makes the most sense is to not have any goats at all. I know that, but I do have children who have goats as pets, and we do enjoy them, and there can still be a small profit of, you know, raising some babies to sell. That can be a thing. So Moses, dude, I'm gonna have to stand up, he won't stop. So we all had to agree on which goats we're keeping, and it needed to be a small number. Abby had 2, and so she picked between those 2. She had Annabelle, which was a Nubian, and Nugget, which was a mini Boer, and she chose to keep the mini Boer, and that's fine. That was her decision. I let her pick whichever one she wanted. And then Lacey picked her Nubian. She has a dairy goat still, which I can breed this Nubian to my Nigerian dwarf buck, and that will give me many Nubians that I can then sell. That'll be fine. I have Willow, Levi has Batman. So, and then of course there's still Thumaloo out here. But smaller goats are more practical because they eat less and they take up less space, or they need less space. And so we have mostly smaller goats now, which again are unnecessary. I don't need goats, but we're keeping a few for the children to enjoy. And then the 2 big bucks that are still over here, Toby and Rocky, they will be going to my friend Courtney's house before too long. But the point is, Annabelle has gone to a new home where she can be used to her full potential. She is a great dairy goat, and that is what I wanted for her. You know, that is her purpose, and so she went to do that. Whereas the one Abby chose to keep, Nugget, the little mini Boer, she will be little, and she will be a little pet, and she will produce little babies that can then be sold, more little mini Boers. So that's that's that. And the kids, just so you know, the kids are okay with this because we're raising them. They're going to, how do I word this? They're being raised as responsible adults. Yes, they're children, but they're not little, and they're old enough to understand, and they're old enough to know that you don't always get everything you want in life. And so they're still getting things that they want, which are not necessary, but they're still for fun. They still have pet goats, and that's fine. They just can't have all the ones that they want because they understand that this is reality. You don't always get everything you want, and sometimes you have to make hard decisions in life, and that's okay. So it's part of raising kids, you know, in the responsible way, the realistic way. And it's also part of homestead when, you know, you're not here as like a sanctuary. It's not a place that is funded by anything. It's just a real homestead making real decisions. But anyway, okay, enough of that. Let's go check on Daphne. Oh, while we're over here, okay, that's a chicken up there. There's a chicken out here. If you saw my last video, you know that I am trying to keep my chickens contained. And I think I failed to mention that I clipped wings. Well, the tiny ones don't have their wings clipped yet. That's why she's up there. That's Muffin. But the big ones had their wings clipped. Now, I clipped one side of the wing because it throws them off balance and they're not supposed to be able to do things. Here's what they would do. They would fly up. There's a fence right here. And then they would use their feet to kind of like walk it, and they would hook their necks around the top and they would lift themselves up and over. So I was like, okay, well, they're kind of managing. Let me clip both sides. So I clipped both sides of the wings, and they were still somewhat managing to do the same thing. Now, that's when the fence was this. Can you see it? This is cattle panel here, and then this is the extra I added on top. So far, they haven't been able to get over this. I have 3 chickens that I didn't get wings clipped on yet. That's one of the ones that's out. That's the bigger one over there. That's Cheese. That's my niece's chicken that lives here. And then 2 others that need their wings clipped. But the one side, never mind. There's another one. Okay, well, without netting the entire top, I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to contain them all. But I'm trying, just because I need my eggs. All right, anyway, the majority of the chickens are now contained. There's just a few that keep getting out. So, okay, this tree needs to be trimmed up. All right, let's go check on Daphne. There's Duke up there. Hey, dude. How you doing up there? You got any children? All right, so over here is where she's at, this catch pen area. It's all broken and fallen down. Y'all see this gate? Do you know what happened to this gate? Did you see that video where the cow just crushed it when we were loading cows? There's a video of that. Anyway, let's see. I never got this tarp put up because she was never off the nest long enough for me to do it. Can you see her back there? You see her? I don't hear anything, y'all. I don't see any eggshells or anything anywhere. All right, I can't tell. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna end this video yet. It is morning time, and usually she gets off the nest to eat. She didn't this morning, which is what part of the thing that made me wonder, well, maybe there's babies under there. Maybe, I don't know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause here, and then I'm gonna come back this afternoon. I'm gonna watch her all day, see if she gets off the nest. We're gonna see what happens. And then by the end of the day, if she's still on it, if I still don't know, I'll let you know. Or if she is off of it and they haven't hatched, I'll let you know. I'm gonna check to see if there's any pipped eggs. If there's still eggs under her and she gets off, we'll check the eggs. We'll do all that. So we're not ending yet. We're gonna give it the rest of the day. We'll see what happens. And I will bring you back shortly for me, it'll be the whole day. But for you, it'll be shortly. We'll be right back, and we'll see what we see. I hear you. Well, I told you that I was going to bring you back and let you know about the peacock thing. Okay, it is now evening. So earlier today, the peacock Daphne, peahen Daphne, got off her nest. And so I ran out there to check, and all her 3 eggs are exactly the same. No pips, no hatching, no nothing. It's the same. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. So this is the last day. I'm gonna give it a day or 2 more. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I don't want to sit on them till they explode because they're rotten or something like that. But I'm just gonna keep on going and let nature take its course for now. I may remove them later, but yeah, that's it. This is my Fefe. Y'all remember her? She was a tiny little abandoned kitten that my sister gave me. She's getting so big. She's majority of the time inside, but there's a doggy door, so she comes in and out. But anyway, that is the update on the peacock. So yeah, no ducks, no Annabelle, no peacock chicks. Kind of a sad and depressing video, just a little bit. Sorry about that, y'all. But it is life, and we know that. So anyway, I will see y'all next time, and until then, keep on the sunny side.